Hi, it's Mark Donegan here on the Marketing Execution Podcast. Most companies lose customers not because people hate them, but because people don't care. Apathy kills more deals than competitors do. Brittany Hodak makes the case that your real battle is relevance, not awareness. After 2 decades of helping B2B companies, that rings true. Here's our conversation.
It's marketing time. Bright ideas sparking, growing your mind. From strategies to big exec dreams. Catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Welcome to the Marketing Execution Podcast. This is the show for tech founders and leaders building B2B products and technologies. We show you how to go further, faster to get the business results you need.
From strategies to big exec dreams. Catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Mark, I've been chewing on something all week. You know how everyone in startup land is obsessed with acquisition? Like pour money into the top of the funnel, watch the numbers go up, celebrate?
Oh yeah, the classic growth at all costs mentality. It's practically religion in some circles.
Right. But I came across this framework from Brittany Hodak, and she makes this argument that completely flipped my thinking. She says most companies don't have an awareness problem. They have an apathy problem.
That's actually a really sharp distinction. Because yeah, you can get your message in front of anyone these days. The targeting is insane. But getting someone to actually care, that's a whole different game.
Exactly. And she has this visual I can't stop thinking about. She calls it the ladder to Superfandom. And apathy isn't just the first rung you have to climb over. It's also the cushion underneath that catches you when you fall off.
Oh, I love that. So you're constantly fighting gravity back toward not caring.
Yes. And she says at any point in the customer journey, if you stop giving people a reason to engage, they just drift back down into apathy.
You know, this reminds me of something I heard from a founder once. They were spending like 80% of their budget on acquisition and maybe 5% on what happens after someone buys. And they couldn't figure out why retention was garbage.
Because they weren't giving customers a reason to come back.
Bingo. And here's the thing I want to unpack for Marketing Execution Podcast listeners today. There are really 2 or 3 hidden secrets in this Superfan framework that most people miss.
Okay, I'm ready. What's the first one?
So the first secret is about understanding your customer's story. And I don't mean like demographics and firmographics. I mean their actual story. Hodak uses this acronym SUPER to break it down. S stands for start with your story. U is understand your customer story. P for personalize. E for exceed expectations. And R for repeat. When you follow this framework, you'll see real transformation.
Wait, transformation? Like what they're trying to become?
Exactly right. And here's where it gets interesting. The transformation your customer wants might have nothing to do with your product on the surface, but it has everything to do with how you connect with them.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. So there was this one founder I heard about who sold project management software. Pretty commoditized space, right? But she figured out that her best customers weren't buying better task lists. They were buying the feeling of being in control. The transformation was going from overwhelmed to confident.
Oh, wow. So the messaging completely changes when you understand that.
Completely. You stop talking about features and start talking about feelings. And that's how you break through apathy.
Okay, what's the second secret?
The second one is about the danger zone between action and adoption. So in her framework, action is when someone buys from you once. Adoption is when they come back a second time.
And that gap is where companies lose people?
It's where they hemorrhage people. Because so many companies, especially in B2B, they focus everything on getting that first contract signed. And then it's like, tag 'em and bag 'em, hand it off to onboarding, hope for the best, never think about that customer again.
I've definitely experienced that as a buyer.
We all have. And here's the kicker. If your customer's second experience isn't at least as good as their first, you've created doubt. She uses this restaurant analogy. If you go somewhere and it's amazing, then you go back and it's just okay, are you going to roll the dice a third time?
Probably not. There's a million other restaurants.
Right. And the same is true for SaaS companies, for agencies, for consultants. Consistency matters more than occasional brilliance.
That's such a good point. Okay, is there a third secret?
Yeah, and this one might ruffle some feathers. She argues that the customer is not always right.
Oh, controversial.
I know. But think about it. Bad customers can cost you good employees. Bad customers can disrupt the experience for your good customers. And not every customer is the right customer for your business.
So you're saying sometimes you need to fire customers?
Sometimes you absolutely do. And the smartest companies I've seen have criteria for this. They know what a bad fit looks like, and they have a process for gracefully exiting those relationships.
You know what strikes me about all of this? It's not about spending more money. It's about being more intentional.
That's exactly it. The most remarkable marketing doesn't cost anything. It's about making people feel seen and valued. Like that Oprah quote about validation. Do you see me? Do you hear me? Does what I say matter to you?
And if you can answer yes to those questions for your customers, they become advocates.
They become superfans. They stop caring about price. They stop comparison shopping. They've got their person, their company, and they tell everyone about it.
Mark, that's fascinating. Let's pivot for a second and talk about what this looks like in practice. Like, if I'm a founder with a 10-person team and zero budget for customer experience initiatives, where do I even start?
You know what's wild about that? The telling everyone part? That's where the real magic happens. Because when someone becomes your advocate, they're not just buying from you anymore. They're recruiting for you. And they don't even realize they're doing it.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of founders miss. They're so focused on getting that first sale, that first contract signed, that they forget the person on the other end has a whole network of people just like them.
Exactly. And here's the thing that really hit me when I was thinking about this framework. The reason superfans matter so much right now in this moment is because trust is basically broken everywhere else.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. We're living in this world where everyone is getting bombarded with messages, targeted ads, cold emails, you name it. And the technology to reach people has never been better. But the trust, the actual belief that a company cares about you, that's at an all-time low.
So the noise has gotten louder, but the signal has gotten weaker.
That's a great way to put it. And when trust in traditional marketing is gone, where do people turn? They turn to their friends. They turn to that colleague who says, "Hey, I've been using this tool and it changed everything for me."
So word of mouth isn't just nice to have anymore. It's becoming the primary channel.
It is the primary channel for a lot of categories. And here's what makes this even more important for early stage companies. You don't have the budget to outspend your competitors on ads. You just don't. But you can outcare them.
Outcare them. I love that.
I'm serious though. The big players, they've got layers of bureaucracy. They've got policies and procedures that make it hard to do anything personal. But a 10-person startup, you can send a handwritten note. You can remember that your customer's dog just had surgery. You can actually be human.
And that's the asymmetric advantage.
Absolutely. Because here's what most people don't understand about superfans. Creating them is about consistent, small moments where someone feels genuinely seen.
You mentioned that Oprah quote earlier about validation. Do you see me? Do you hear me? Does what I say matter to you? That feels really relevant here.
Oh, it's the core of everything. I know of a company, small SaaS business, maybe 20 employees. They were struggling with churn like crazy, and they tried everything. Better onboarding flows, more feature releases, pricing changes, nothing worked.
What finally moved the needle?
They started doing something so simple it almost sounds dumb. Every time a customer hit a milestone, like their 100th transaction through the platform or whatever, someone from the team would send a short video, just 30 seconds. "Hey Sarah, saw you just crossed 100 orders. That's awesome. Wanted to say congrats."
Wait, that's it?
That's it. And their churn dropped by like 40% in 6 months because suddenly customers felt like there were real people on the other side who actually noticed them.
And that costs basically nothing.
$0. Just intention. Just deciding that making customers feel valued was going to be a priority, not an afterthought.
You know what strikes me about this whole conversation? We keep coming back to this idea that the fundamentals haven't changed. People want to feel important. They want to be recognized. But somewhere along the way, businesses got so obsessed with scale that they forgot the basics.
And I think that's the real opportunity for founders listening right now. The bar is actually pretty low because so many companies are terrible at this stuff. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be better than the sea of indifference that most customers are swimming in.
The sea of indifference. That's brutal, but accurate.
I mean, think about your own experiences as a buyer. How often do you feel like a company genuinely cares about you versus just wanting your money?
Honestly, maybe 1 out of 10 interactions, if that.
Right. So if you can be that one company, if you can be the exception, you're not just winning a customer, you're winning an advocate who's going to go tell 9 other people about you.
Okay, so we've talked about why this matters strategically, why the timing is right, why it's actually achievable for small teams. But I'm curious, Mark, for the founder who's nodding along right now, thinking, yes, I get it, I want to do this. What does actually implementing this look like day to day? How do you build these systems without it becoming another thing on an already overwhelming to-do list?
All right, so first thing, you need to identify who your superfans already are, like right now, today.
Wait, you're saying most companies don't even know?
Most companies have no idea. They've got customers who love them, who would go to bat for them, and they've never even asked. So step 1 is literally this. Look at your last 50 customers. Who renewed fastest? Who referred someone? Who replied to your emails with actual enthusiasm?
So you're mining your existing data.
Exactly. You're finding patterns. And here's a real example. There's a project management SaaS company, mid-size, maybe 40 employees. They did this exact exercise, went through their customer list, and found that their happiest users weren't the enterprise accounts they'd been chasing.
Let me guess, it was the smaller teams?
Creative agencies, specifically. Teams of 8 to 15 people doing client work. Those customers had the highest engagement scores, lowest churn, and get this, they were responsible for like 60% of all referrals.
So the company had been pouring resources into enterprise sales when their real superfans were somewhere else entirely.
Right. And once they knew that, everything changed. They rebuilt their onboarding specifically for creative agencies. They created templates those teams actually needed. They started a Slack community just for that segment.
And what happened?
Referrals doubled in 4 months. Doubled. Because they stopped trying to be everything to everyone and started being incredible for their actual fans.
Okay, so that's step 1. Find your existing superfans. What's next?
Step 2 is creating what I call recognition moments. And this is where small teams have a massive advantage. It's any touch point where you make a customer feel seen.
Like the video message example you mentioned earlier?
Yes. Notice that you're not competing on budget. You're competing on care. Big companies can't do this. They've got layers of approval and legal review and brand guidelines.
So the bureaucracy that slows down big players is actually your competitive moat.
Now you're getting it. Your size is a feature, not a bug.
All right, so we've got identify your superfans, create recognition moments. What's the third piece?
This one's crucial. You need to make it stupid easy for happy customers to spread the word. Most companies mess this up completely. They wait until someone's already singing their praises and then fumble the handoff. Or worse, they never ask at all because they feel awkward about it.
So, what's the right approach?
Build the ask into your natural workflow. Think about it like this. There's a cybersecurity company I worked with. After every successful implementation, their customer success team sends a simple message. Hey, we're thrilled this is working for you. If you know anyone else dealing with similar challenges, we'd love an intro. No pressure.
That's it? Just a casual ask?
Yes, but here's the key. They only send it after they've delivered value, after the customer has had a win. The timing matters more than the words.
Because you've earned the right to ask.
Exactly. You've made a deposit in the relationship bank account. Now you can make a small withdrawal.
I feel like so many founders skip straight to asking without making those deposits first.
All the time. They're so focused on growth metrics that they forget growth comes from delighted customers, not despite them.
You know what strikes me about all three of these steps? None of them require fancy tools or big budgets. It's really just about being intentional.
That's the whole game, Tim. Intention beats investment. The companies that win at this aren't the ones with the biggest marketing spend. They're the ones who decide that making customers feel valued is a priority.
And you can start tomorrow, like literally tomorrow morning.
You can start in the next hour if you want. Pull up your customer list. Find your happiest users. Send one of them a genuine thank you note.
I love how actionable that is. Okay, Mark, we've covered a ton of ground today. From why superfans matter strategically, to the trust crisis that makes them essential, to these specific steps founders can take right now. Can you tie it all together for us? What's the big picture someone should walk away with?
All right, let me bring this all together. We started by talking about apathy being the real enemy. Companies can get in front of people, but they can't make people care. Then we talked about understanding your customer's actual story, their struggles, their transformation. That's how you break through the noise. We covered the danger zone between that first purchase and the second one. That's where companies lose people because they stop showing up. And then we got practical. Find your existing superfans by looking at your data. Create recognition moments that cost nothing but attention. Make it easy for happy customers to spread the word after you've delivered value. The through line here is simple. You can't outspend the big players, but you can absolutely outcare them.
Mark, after everything we've discussed today, what's the one thing you really hope people don't forget?
Well, every customer interaction is either building a superfan or feeding apathy. There's no neutral. So the question is whether you can afford to keep making people feel invisible.
The Marketing Execution Podcast is produced by Growth Stage Marketing. We are on a mission to see your company reach wild success using marketing pods.
Too big accept dreams. Catch the buzz and join the execution. Marketing Convo.
Thank you for listening and being a part of the marketing execution movement and community. To learn how growth stage marketing clients reach more buyers and drive business impact, go to growthstage.marketing. That's growthstage.marketing.